Alright, what's going on, guys? Quick trade recap for the day. So, starting on the daily, I guess. What are we looking for? I was short. We swept all these highs over here, right? And going to the day, we swept previous day's high pretty early. So I was looking for previous day lows or any low resistance liquidity in that direction, right? So, going on the 15-minute. So I'll go over 10 o'clock because I didn't take a trade. I only took a trade at 2 o'clock. Let's see. So 10 o'clock. Yeah, this was 10 o'clock. So there's really not much to explain here, right? Oh, that's Friday. I'm tripping. This is 10 o'clock. So obviously, yeah, this is not much to explain here. So, like I said, I was bearish on the day. This is technically an order block. Going on the 1 minute. Potential trade. Like, if you wanted to take this IFVG, you could have. I'm not sure if there was SMT. I think there was, yeah, right here. So SMT right there. Oh, that was down here. My fault. But anyway, this was not really. I didn't really like any of this, so that's why I sat out. Which this was super unfortunate. Prior to 10 o'clock, we swept like everything. Like we literally swept everything, right? So daily, previous day highs were taken, so that's gone, right? So that works in a sense of now it's ready to go down, which is what I was waiting for, right? But that being said, we come down here at 10 o'clock or like 9:45 and we're wiping all this liquidity that I would have wanted to be my target. So that kind of messed that up. So I was like, nope, just going to set out on the market till 2 o'clock and then look for another trade. So 2 o'clock rolls around. What am I looking for? I'm looking for a 15-minute PD array and I'm looking to target lower. So we have these lows right here and previous day lows. So a few things that messed up the trade, right? Right here. We turtle soup those lows, which creates high resistance liquidity. If we would have made a new higher low, we would have had like, let's just say it was like this, right? So that low would have been there. And then let's just say we created another low like up here. Then we have more generated low resistance liquidity. And that would have been our targets. Obviously, we turtle soup that, creating high resistance liquidity, right? And we put in these 15-minute imbalance. Yeah, imbalances, 2 of them. That doesn't necessarily matter though, right? In a sense, kind of depending on what your bias is. So what I was looking for is this 15-minute gap. It looked better on ES. Definitely a more visible gap. But was looking for us to tap that. So at 2 o'clock, what do? We manipulate up into that gap. And in the beginning, we create SMT, right? Which is super unfortunate. Right here was SMT, and it was so nice. SMT right there, literally wick into that fair value gap, and then come down. So where's the change in state? That is right here. I was waiting for that, did not get that, so I was like, okay, not gonna take that. And then what do we get? A tap back in, so SMT is no longer there. Change of state of delivery now changes. And what I failed to realize was the timing of this, right? So we manipulate back up around 25 after, and we close up here. What does that mean? That means that 15-minute gap that I wanted to use as my PD array was inversed. It was inverse right there. Let's see what it looks like on 1 minute. So right here is where we got inversed. And so that kind of flips it, right? That flips the imbalance that I was supposed to be using. That was supposed to start this reversal down. And technically speaking, another thing I could have done is we were in an hour imbalance. So we had this huge hourly imbalance. But what does that align with? That aligns with the 5 minute, right? So then dropping to the 5-minute. We never get any sort of change state delivery. We don't even get a 5-minute IFVG here, right? We don't get anything. So it should have been no entry, technically speaking, just because of the things I was missing. So let's see, 25, 30, 25 and 30. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there was no SMT, which makes it even worse. So I failed to realize the 15-minute inversion. That's on me. So this shouldn't have worked, or this shouldn't have even been, like, this was invalid already, right? So my PD array was invalidated, was disrespected, and then we also don't have SMT. So this is just screaming for longs, right? Or this is screaming that what I'm about to do is not going to work, right? So 35's low. 35's low. So I don't think there's bullish SMT either. Unless there is down here. Let's see. Oh my god. 10. No. So there's no SMT anywhere. Or like, no, there's literally not. So what did I fail to do? I failed the fact that there was no SMT. I failed that my PD array was invalidated. And at that point, if I would have caught either of those, right, I could have closed early on this. It came down after, so it disrespects bearish PD array. No SMT, comes down, respects a bullish PD array. What does it do? Goes right back up, inverses this 1 minute bearish PD array. So what should I do? I should close right here. Close right here for 79 tick stop. Instead, I hold for 104. I mean, technically I'm sticking to my rules, right? But this is telling us we have a new swing low. We have a 1 minute change in state delivery. We're delivering from something, and we have a 1 minute IFVG. It's going to go higher. So I could have saved myself like 30. I'm sorry about that car. I could have saved myself about 30 ticks or like 25 ticks or whatever. Does that change anything? No, not really. 25.5. How much money? Let's see. I think it was 4 cons. I mean, low key. It would have saved me like $50, which isn't huge in the scheme of things, but the difference between losing 150 to 200, I mean, it's not huge in the scheme of things, but it's just like there was no reason to lose that 50 because I saw that my trade has completely gone against me. Everything that I was looking for fell apart and was invalidated, so close the trade. That's what I should have done. I didn't, so I lost a little bit of extra money. It doesn't bother me. I only lost 400 across 2 accounts. So I lost about 215 on both accounts, something like that. Not bad, right? And at the same time, yes, I took a loss, and yes, it was a pretty bad loss in the sense of I took it with no SMT. I took it with a 15-minute IFVG going the opposite way. So this setup was like a C at best, C minus at best. But it could have been worse, right? And I could have put like a mini on it. I could have gone heavier, and it didn't really affect my emotions at all because $200 in the scheme of things is not that big of a deal, right? Like my smallest winning day recently was like $400 or like 360 or something. So that if I hit that trade one more time, that's doubling what I lost. And that was one of my smaller wins, right? So the other day I hit like 1,200 on one account and 900 on the other. So obviously my risk to reward is pretty good. And if I can keep that RR up, I mean, look at this, like previous day low might have been a drag, right? Like it might have been a little OD, especially because we did have some, like we had this 15-minute gap, right? So, I don't know why I did that. We had this 15-minute gap that we would have potentially met some resistance at. But here's what I would have done, right? So if I go in with 4 cons, boom. This is probably first con's off right here at the top of this gap. I'm taking 1 con off and I'm break even because at that point we are tapping a huge imbalance. There's possible SMT that would be subjective to the trade when it's going on. I'd be up over 144 ticks. So I went in with 4 micros, we'll say. Well, no, not we'll say, that's what I did. Times 0.5 times 4. So at this point, we'll be up $288. Divide that by 4. We're looking at $72 per. So I'm closing for $72 profit right there, and I'm break even. And then, depending on if it goes back up and taps me out, I'm up $72 on the day across 2 accounts, or $150 basically. And if not, I'm holding, and I can take it at different spots, right? So if I want to take another, it depends, like where, like there's gaps all the way up, but like on break even, it's stress free. I'm up $72 on both accounts. This would at least be another one, and then I could leave like 1 runner. So I could close 3 cons throughout here, 1 being here, 1 being here, and like 1 right here, right? Just to manage it. And then leave the 4th for previous day low. Because for us to come this close to previous day low after sweeping previous day highs and getting that huge bearish reaction, like swept it and dumped, you would think, okay, we might consolidate a little bit. We're going to get some type of retracement, but end goal is to hit that. And it sure did not. It just completely reversed on us. And I would be a little bit more disappointed in the fact that it reversed on us if my trade was better. My trade being this terrible in a sense of no SMT, in a sense of the PD array that I was using was inversed. Like all of that, I should have known to bounce out, but you win some, you lose some. I don't really care. I know my next winner is going to be larger than this. I'm glad that I was able to sit out of the 10 o'clock trade because 10 o'clock was ranging. I'm not trading in that. Like, I know you get an IFVG here, but you don't even sweep this low. And then you get an IFVG the other way, and you don't even sweep this high. Straight ranging. I'm not trading in that. Now, if you wait for some type of breakout and a retracement to, like, take a trade, sure. But, like, at this point, it's 11 o'clock. I'm not trading around there. And I was at the gym and stuff, and then I was grabbing lunch. So, 2 o'clock it was. 2 o'clock didn't look bad to me until I didn't realize my PD array was inversed. If I would have seen that, I never would have taken the trade. I'm not dumb. I used to trade IFVGs. I still potentially take IFVG trades. But I would never be like, okay, it just completely disrespected this PD array. Let me short it. Like, no. I'm not going to do that. I was just happy that I didn't gamble afterwards. I just went and played some Xbox, did some homework, stuff like that. And yeah, so I think even though we took a loss, I didn't gain a lot of knowledge, but like I made progress in the sense of I didn't gamble, I didn't tilt, and I looked into why I failed. So now next time I know, keep an eye on the time, because if your PD array is getting inversed, do not take that trade, right? And potentially, so it got inversed, and then there was another one up here, right? So could I have waited for this, right? Yes. But let's see. I want to see when this one. I don't think this one gets inversed. Oh my lord. It doesn't get inversed, I don't think. Well, no, technically it does, right? Because that's at 3 o'clock. I'm not taking that at 3 o'clock, but let's see what it looks like in 1 minute. So yeah, technically we get inversed. So this one also would have been invalid, right? So because this technically would have been the change in state delivery right here, and we would have got a change in state. But I would have to use context, right? Our other 15-minute was inversed. We're inversing and changing state of delivery on lower time frames, and we're delivering pretty well. Like choppy and slow, yeah, but you got to think about news this week and stuff. So we're delivering pretty bullish price action at this point. So I shouldn't have taken my trade, and I definitely wouldn't take this trade considering it's already 3 o'clock. But yeah, that was basically it. If this trade was to have hit, which I think on a normal day, and if I had SMT and if I had a good PD array, it would have. It would have been another 7R trade, which is what I took last week. Go check out that video. It was a banger. Made 2 bands. Yeah, that's about it. Quicker video. is a loss, trying to stay transparent and stuff. And yeah, that's about it. So I will catch you guys tomorrow. Peace.